broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, everyone! Welcome back to Amazing Race After Show, Season 27, Episode 7, Full Speed Ahead, Captain! I am Jessica Carroll, and unfortunately, James, who usually leads the after show, is not here this week, but Marie is here.
Hi guys, it's Marie. It's just going to be me and Jess today.
The girls.
See if we can pull it off.
James, we miss you already. We have already had technical difficulties, but that's okay.
Yeah, we're trying to get the live chat going. I have it up so we can see what's going on, but unfortunately, I can't comment. I don't know what's going on. James, we need you.
We need you, but we appreciate all you guys in the live chat, and we do have it up so we can see your comments. So keep the conversation going.
So talk to us. We can see it.
Yeah. So what were your overall thoughts on this episode?
I liked the episode, not as much as last episode because I loved the last episode. But it was good. I mean, it starts off, of course, it was to be continued from last time. And if you've been watching the show, you kind of know that means that James and his mom are not going home.
Right.
Which we like because we love them. So I thought it was overall a good episode. What did you think?
I thought there was a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, a lot of mistakes right off the bat.
A lot of mistakes. But then again, there were definitely a lot of pros. The cheerleaders really stepped up their game. Shack Attack, there was a lot of foreshadowing going on throughout the episode. We saw it coming, unfortunately. But yeah, and then, Team Texas, they made a little oopsie mistake. But at least they caught up. There was an equalizer along the way. So,
yeah. It was okay. I mean, they start off from the last pit stop and they have to all take a train to Rotterdam, which right off the bat, I think half the teams thought they were going to Amsterdam. They thought it was the same thing. No one really knew where they were going. And this is where the Texas boys are like, oh, our train's in 2 hours. Let's go hang out.
Right. They're like, let's go to the Eiffel Tower.
Going to bars. Right. Like, just hanging out, And as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh my God. I was like, just because they give you, a reservation doesn't mean that you shouldn't look into something else. And basically everybody else that did have time to find an earlier train went ahead and did that. And you see them get on the last train and kind of not see anyone. And they're like, oh man, did we make a mistake?
Yeah.
Which could have cost them. But we get to the next part, where they receive their next clue and they're telling us that it's an equalizer.
Yes. So they left, and they also had to look for a vessel number 11. And right. That's where they got their clue.
Right. Saying
that upon arrival, teams picked up a departure time and then spent the night on the ship, departure time in 15-minute intervals for the next day. And Shack Attack along the way thought that Rotterdam was Amsterdam, and so they got on the wrong.
Oh, that's right. They had to switch, right?
Yes.
Right off the bat.
I was like, oh man, when Amsterdam, Rotterdam, I could see the comparison, but they're completely different places.
Yeah.
So that was.
I mean, I wouldn't have known. Half of them didn't. They were like, we thought we were in Germany. Like they didn't know where they were. I wouldn't have known, but just follow the information.
Yeah, you can never assume.
But when they did get to the ship, I noticed they were spending the night there, and everyone had these amazing blow-up mattresses and pillows and blankets and everything. And I was like, hey, because when we got to an equalizer and had to sleep over on my season, nobody had that. You just sat outside and sat through the night, except for one team who brought their own blow-up mattress, which was smart. But
that's so much to haul around, though, the whole race.
So I was surprised that they gave them that. They're lucky.
Oh, man. The whole time I was like, good thing it wasn't cold outside, because I would have been freezing.
I know.
Although, Shack Attack, Rick had his lip.
What happened to his lip?
He said a mosquito,
bit him?
a bug bit him, and he had a fat lip, and he was doing the total duck face.
Yeah, he had like a really bad allergic reaction to something. So.
That was hilarious. He really played it off well, though.
That was funny.
That poor team. They just had one thing after another.
Yeah.
So then the next morning, the teams received their clues and had to travel by water taxi from Kamp van Zuid. James, how did I do?
You couldn't do worse than James.
Right? To windmills in to get their next clue, which was for the roadblock asking who wants to pick the sunflowers.
Right.
So
each team member basically has to decide who's going to do this. They have to go through all these different windmills, which are really spread far apart, and they have to find the replica of the Van Gogh painting, the exact replica.
Which, how would you have done?
You know, some of them, I don't know if you were allowed to do this or not, but like you always have a little notebook or a pen or something. I would have made some kind of notes, even if it was just on my hand, like
right.
a few points. Okay, like this is hanging here, you know, the vase is here and whatnot. Some of them, I think, looked at it so quick and took off running as if like there were going to be completely different paintings everywhere.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I definitely would have done this instead of Sweeney, for sure. But I don't think it was as easy as it looked right off the bat. So I don't know. What do you think?
Honestly, I just like you said, I have the worst memory, so I couldn't. Even though I do have a visual memory, I would have had to write stuff down.
Yeah.
Like, okay, there's 3 sunflowers on the right. The pot is this high. There's one falling. And I think you touched on the point that brought a lot of people back, is that they looked at the painting so fast because they were rushed. They felt rushed that they didn't really study it. And then when they got out there, they were like, oh shit, these are all pretty much the same.
Yeah.
And you could tell it took people a lot of times. And the worst part is that you really had to run around.
There was a lot of running, which actually, when they got there, I noticed that Logan was so smart. She was like, I'm going to do this. Like, she wanted to do it because she saw that it was running. And he was like, no, I got it. And I was just like, just listen to her. Like, she knows that she's a runner. Let her do it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, whether or not you're good at the memory part, like, if you can't run, you're going to fall behind.
Right. And there was a lot of running in that one.
Yeah.
So that was good. So Diana did it. Krista did it. Rick, Joey, Logan, Denise, and Tanner. And, you know, actually, Joey was the one that I think got it on his first time.
Did he?
He really studied the painting.
I think he did get it on the first try. That's right, because they weren't there first, but he got it done on the first try.
Yeah, they were the first to leave.
I'm starting to like them.
I like them too. And you know what? Joey played this very smart. Like, he actually studied the picture and he goes, okay, you need to pay attention to detail. And so he really studied it and he got it on the first try. Yeah. And also, I didn't like Justin. I wonder if you're in the chat right now.
He's in the chat.
Justin, hello. Justin, you better be nice to your girl. I didn't like you guys arguing.
He did apologize, though, at one point, but then he just kept doing it.
I know. It's like, Justin, I felt like you're, you know, on this team, you really have to have good communication with your teammate, and I really hope that doesn't get in the way between you two, because you guys are on fire right now.
She started standing up for herself, too. Like, it's happening more and more. She's, like, putting her foot down. She's giving her input, and that's going to be good.
Yes, I like that. Good little girl power.
Yeah.
All right, so then once they finally got the correct painting, they were given the clue, and the clue instructed the teams to record their highest heart rate from the previous leg and their heart rate from this leg's roadblock and subtract the difference. The solution would equal the number of tulips they have to pick up and deliver to the Spackenberger Mies, Dutch for the girl at the Spackenberg, to receive their next clue.
Did you see everyone struggling with the math?
I was cracking up. I'm not good at math, but I can do a little subtraction.
Well, some teams had calculators, which is smart. You can bring a little calculator.
Right.
I think we brought a calculator, and they got it done right away. But it takes you back to like 4th grade when you're sitting there trying to do subtraction, like writing it out on a piece of paper. Texas boys were so funny. They were like, yes, no, 24, 29, like, no.
I thought that was hilarious. I was like, okay, clearly through this little challenge here, we learned that the Texan boys are not the best in math, but that's okay. It was really funny. But did you like this little...
It was all right. I mean, I'm kind of over the whole incorporating the Fitbit. Yeah. Like, enough with the steps and the heart rate and whatnot. I guess they did incorporate it in a better way a little bit towards the end. We'll get to that. But I'm like over it. Like, no.
No, and I don't even get the point. It was so... They just basically subtracted 2 numbers. They barely even told the audience what the numbers were.
Right.
Or like who had the least heart rate or the highest or what it meant, like better shape, whatever. It was just so fluff.
Yeah.
It's pointless.
No, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Didn't like it. What did you guys think? Did you guys like the little heart rate subtracting thing? Oh, Marie, you're going to be on season 28.
Apparently.
There you go.
Guys, I am not going to be on season 28.
And yes, it is product placement. That is for sure. It's all about the Fitbit. So it was fluff.
But, all right, well, whatever. We didn't like the Fitbit. moving on.
Moving on. All right, so once they finally handed over their tulips to the Tulip girl, she handed over the next clue, and the next clue instructed the teams to travel by water taxi to Nole Disterly to receive their next clue, which was the Detour. In the Detour, they had an option between ship or skip.
Right. So basically, I guess for both of them, they still have to travel. They have to take the tram to a specific location, and then they're kind of close to each other, I guess.
Yeah, they were pretty close to each other.
Ship was, they had to, what was it?
It was like they had to use a training simulator.
At the Millennium Tower. They had to go in and learn, right?
Right, they had to learn. And then one person was the navigator and one person was the driver, and they had to navigate a simulation of a Rotterdam harbor in a stormy weather to complete a 2-part mission. The first part of the mission was to deliver a pilot to a ship. The second part was to go to the aid of a ship in distress. If their mission was completed under 5 minutes, the captain would give them their next clue. However, if they failed, they had to try it all over again.
And apparently you had to get in line because there was only one space that you could do this. The other side of the Detour, skip, is just as simple as it sounds. Double Dutch while doing patty cake for 45 seconds. I think if you have any type of coordination whatsoever, you go for that one.
Right.
And I was a little surprised that so many of the teams didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, which one would you have done?
I would have done skip because
Totally.
A, I've never played a video game in my life. I'm not the best driver, and I would have failed that one miserably. So I would have for sure done skip. And plus, I felt like it was more in your control.
Right. That it was a minute, like you could do it again. There was tons of different stations, and they said that there was like a clapping game you had to do with it, and then we find out the clapping game is patty cake, which is like 3 things. It's so simple,
right?
So if you know how to jump rope, aside from maybe your nerves getting to you a little bit, no big deal.
Right,
go do that one.
And what was it, a minute?
I thought it was a minute watching it. Someone said 45 seconds. I mean, either way, it wasn't 5 minutes. It was doable.
Right.
Even if you messed up 100 times, it takes you a couple minutes to do it.
Yeah.
So I for sure would have done that one. I knew the cheerleaders were going to do that one. I knew they were going to nail it. They did so well. And then everybody else basically takes the other side of the Detour.
Yeah.
And they're all waiting in line to do this, and they all fail a million times. I thought it was funny, though, that all of the guys were the captain and the women were the navigators, except Logan. She's like, I'm the captain. And I'm like, she reminds me so much of me because I totally would have been the captain. Sweeney would have been navigating. I would have been yelling. So I thought that was funny.
Yeah, I would have definitely been the navigator driving that thing. No way. But that's all right. I would have chosen the skip anyways. Well, but I was really surprised that only one team chose the skip.
I mean, I guess the ship navigating kind of seems cooler to try, but some of the teams like rushed through it because when you get there, they give you a lesson and you have to like really master it before you get a chance to try.
Yeah.
And I think I noticed Team Texas was like, yeah, we got it, and then they went in there and they were like, dude, I don't know what I'm doing. What are we supposed to do? Like, and the minutes were just counting down.
Yeah.
And then it was over and they're like, all right, we have to go back out and kind of learn what we're supposed to do, which ends up taking time because now every other team shows up and you're sitting in line outside this room to go in and get your chance.
Yeah.
I probably would have switched, even though I say never switch. If I was behind that line, I would have been like, let's go skip.
I would have too, for sure. Especially if you knew they were pretty close to each other.
Yeah.
Do you think they knew that they were close?
I think so, because the directions were basically like to the same spot. And I don't think we saw any traveling besides running to find the tower or to find, the open area where the skipping was taking place.
Yeah.
So...
I would have loved to see the Texan boys doing patty cake jumping together.
I feel like they would have been good at it.
They would have.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, it's not that hard.
Guys don't know how to double Dutch, Justin says. Yeah. It's not that hard. If you can jump, you can jump rope.
Oh, man. I wonder if the simulator thing actually, like, did it actually, like, move?
You, like, feel like you're moving. I think one of the teams said that they were going to throw up or get seasick.
That would have been really funny, actually, if like one team's like vomiting all over the place.
Yeah.
That would have been great television.
Could you imagine if someone threw up?
Oh my God.
So basically, I think actually before this is when we saw Chack Attack kind of mess up again, right? On the way, when everybody takes the tram, but they want to take the bus.
Yes. They want to take the bus, and they're sitting there, and they're waiting and waiting.
Like a half an hour just arguing. Do you think this is a good idea? This is a bad idea. This is a good idea.
Oh, my God.
What are you doing?
Yeah, and they took the wrong tram, right?
They took the wrong tram.
They were heading to the beach.
I think that was after this. So they basically had like 3 mess ups. In the beginning, they went to the wrong place on the wrong train. Then they end up waiting for a bus for a half an hour. And she knows. She's like, this is a stupid idea. And he's like, stop. You're being negative. Of course she's being negative. You're sitting for
doing
half an hour.
Wrong thing.
Right. So they end up getting there a little bit behind. And then I think it was later on that they messed up again when they were on the wrong number tram or train trying to go to the pit stop.
Oh my gosh. Especially because they knew it was like down to one team.
Yeah, so they just kept falling behind.
And then that's when you see a lot of the foreshadowing, like them holding hands, them motivating each other. Oh, Paula said that I would have loved to see Team Alabama do the double dutch. That would have been
I think they would have been good at that.
That would have been so adorable to see Denise and James Earl jumping.
Denise would have killed the double dutch. I don't know. You know what? Maybe it was that the tower was right there and that was easier to get to. I don't know. Someone in the chat that was there, Justin, tell us, was it closer to go to the tower and do that? And you didn't want to have to go look for the double dutch, or were they both right there? We need to know.
Right. So a quick little tidbit. Someone said, I'm surprised the cheerleaders didn't easily beat that task and get to the pit stop first. Well, we actually found out from Krista herself that she said the ship detour was only 300 meters from the mat, whereas the skip was 300 kilometers to the mat.
So maybe it was even a little farther to begin with anyway.
Anyways.
Right.
So maybe it would have been harder to switch.
Right. So we see them leave at the same time, but the cheerleaders are traveling a lot further to get to the pit stop. And that's editing to make us kind of wonder, oh my God, who's going to get there first? They finish the task at the same time, but it really depends on, where it was. So basically they had no chance at coming in first.
Right.
But little insider info.
I always felt bad. And it made me, I felt like I was pulling my hair out, because when you are down to the last little bit, you don't get on the wrong bus. Like, that is so crucial. I would literally ask like 5 people before I got on the bus.
Yeah. So that was a mess up there. And then the James and his mom, James and Denise, are also waiting at the end when they're done, and they see the other teams get on one train that has 2 stops, and their train is direct, and they're like, what should we do? Do you think 2 stops takes more than 7 minutes? And they're doing all this math, and they kind of freak out. The other teams take off, and then the sign pops up that their train is delayed 10 minutes. So I think in that situation, when you're kind of the last ones there and there's 2 options, no matter which option seems like the better one, don't separate from the pack. They should have went with them. This way, no matter what happened, they all get there at the same time. It's a foot race. I don't think that was a gamble.
Because if Chack Attack did get on the right bus,
that would have been it.
Yeah, that would have been it.
That would have been it.
And if they did get on the same train as them, Denise Earl would have probably been like, don't get on that bus. They're going the wrong way. Right. Let's go this way.
Right. Too many mess ups for Chack Attack. I saw it coming. I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
So basically, everybody finishes up, and they're making their way to the pit stop, and we see the Fitbit thing come up again, because it was the amount of steps that they took the entire time or whatever ended up equaling 31, and that's how much money they won.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that was a huge thing. Yeah. So they added up all of their so the teams totaled up their steps from this leg, which was 31,873, and they turned that into dollars.
Right. So basically, that little foreshadowing in the beginning to keep track of all your steps and add them up, and that's going to come in later. That's where we see it. And that's ridiculous to me, because, in any other leg of any other season, the most anyone wins is like $10,000.
That is crazy.
So I wonder if that's Fitbit money.
Fake money, like Monopoly money.
You can only spend it on Fitbit products. So that was interesting. So what did you think of the order? Is this what we expected?
Green team, this is their 4th time winning first.
I know. But that just tells me they're not going to win the whole thing.
Really?
I don't know. I feel like that's how it works. I feel like they're just going to keep getting first. And we kind of see this coming up where the reporters are so sick of coming in second to them and being behind them. And no matter what, the green team gets right in front of them. And I feel like this is going to keep happening until the final 3, when the reporters finally get it. And they get in front of them, hopefully.
Because they did a little foreshadowing. They said that we have to be the team that takes over them.
Right.
And they even said, this is the green team season. And I was like, whoa. No. It's nobody's season yet until the finale.
Right. So I don't know. I'm hoping that the reporters kind of get one ahead of them at some point. And if it's the final leg, that's fine for me. There's only one first place that counts. So,
well, they were doing really well, and then so reporters came in second, and then cheerleaders came in third.
Right.
Fourth was the Texans. Fifth, paparazzi. They're not fighting anymore.
No, they seem okay.
They seem okay.
Because you started listening to her. You listened to her the whole time.
She's in control now. She's the pilot of the ship. And then sixth was Alabama, and seventh, sadly, was Shack Attack. They were the nice people, the nice couple.
They were, but like we said, there wasn't much going on there throughout the season. Nothing really developed. We kind of saw it coming that either they were going to go home or maybe the reporters were going to go home. And then, we kind of saw this relationship between the green team and the reporters develop where now they kind of like have this thing against each other. So we knew they weren't going to go away. But I mean, overall, Cindy and Rick were my team on fantasy, but like I'm donezo. Like that's it. Like
you have no more teams?
That's it. I'm done.
Oh no!
But I knew it was coming. I basically wanted them to get eliminated because I'm just so far gone on the fantasy teams that it doesn't matter.
So if you could pick one team now that you're going to root for, reporters?
I'm rooting for the reporters to take out the green team.
Okay.
But I still like the cheerleaders.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the cheerleaders, so they're like my team to win.
You know what I love most about the cheerleaders is that they have a really positive attitude. They make everything fun.
Yeah, it's fun. Like they don't argue with each other, and when it gets hard, whatever, they get a little bit. I mean, they're emotional, but like they still have fun.
Right.
They don't get out of control and like argue with each other and make stupid mistakes.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to be okay.
And I also love Denise and James Earl. First of all, I love how they she calls her James Earl. She calls him James Earl. But they are like, they never give up. They're like the little engine that could. Like they just never give up.
They're going to be that sleeper team that just goes right to the end.
They are, for sure.
They just keep getting lucky.
Yeah. What?
Justin says Marie hating on the green team. Yes, I don't like you guys. Not as people, just as racers. It's okay.
I like you guys.
We're all being honest here.
I think you guys are doing awesome. Just don't be arguing. I don't like the arguing. But the Texans, come on, they need to step it up. I feel like their head's a little out of the game.
They are. I think they kind of think like, all right, we're fine. We're in this. We don't have like they relaxed too much.
Right.
I mean, who goes sightseeing in the first 3 seconds of a leg?
Yeah, you relax when you're not running the race.
But I think that was a good wake up call for them. Now they're not going to do anything stupid like that. And even if they do have a big lead, they're not going to take it for granted. They're going to be smart.
Right. And Marie Duda 444, I am not giving up any of my teams to Marie. Sorry, I'm keeping all 3 of my teams. For the first time ever in Amazing Race Fantasy, I'm actually in the lead. So I'm very happy.
Weren't you already in the lead?
Yeah, but I mean, this is the first time in previous seasons.
Okay.
I've always been the one that lost all my teams right away. So I'm in good standings, and I'm very happy with my teams. All right, so should we get into predictions?
I guess so. Let's go.
All right, so predictions. I couldn't watch the little teaser for next episode, so I'm going. You go first.
I think I want to say the reporters are going to pass the green team next episode.
You hear that, Justin?
I hope. Maybe it's just wishful thinking. Like, I just want them to win a leg now that they grew on me, now that I like them. I really want them to win a leg. And even if they don't, I want something to go down between the 2 teams. Like, I want them to fight or something. I think maybe...
We want a little controversy.
Yeah, like there needs to be like some fighting going on. As much as I said that Denise and James Earl are gonna make it to the end, I don't know. I think maybe like their luck's gonna run out next time. I'm hoping that they'll stick around because they're so fun, but I just know it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, they've already made it super far. I agree. I think that Team Alabama is set to go home. Yeah. Sadly, sadly, but it's true. But I do think that they've really bonded. The relationship has grown.
Yeah,
So
they've gotten a lot out of the race. They were entertaining. They had fun. It almost reminds me of on my season with the bunnies when they just kept getting like saved and like lucky and whatever, and it got to the point where we were the ones that actually U-turned them and sent them home. It was just like enough already. Get off the race.
Right. Like, okay, you guys are
been
just
lucky enough.
Yeah.
Leave.
Yeah. I think, gosh, who's going to get in first? I don't know. I definitely think it's going to be either the green team or the reporters. But I know for sure the reporters are going to be in the top 3.
Definitely top 3.
Without a doubt.
And then hopefully paparazzi will fight some more. They seemed fine this episode. That can't last long. Something has to go down next time.
Something has to go down. You know what I would have liked to know is out of all the teams, we know the green team steps. But I would have loved to know like who out of all the teams actually had the most steps.
Oh, that's
like
true.
Who ran the most? Because the cheerleaders, their detour was farther away.
And they were stepping in the detour.
Yeah.
Right. They're doing double
So
dutch,
it would have been interesting to know like who would have actually taken home the most money.
I know. 31 was a lot. And they did run a lot.
A lot. I mean, oh my God. I was like, no way.
A lot of people are kind of speculating that next week is another non-elimination. We had the to be continued, which is kind of like a super leg, and maybe there's a non-elim next week, maybe not. I don't know. But if there's a non-elim and Team Alabama
stays
again, like I'll die.
Oh my God, they are like the lucky team if that happens. But you know what? I do think at the very end, Team Alabama did say she's like, "Oh, I'm so tired."
Yeah.
And those to be continued races, when you just keep racing,
right,
they wear on you. And especially, they had like a few hours of sleep on a blow-up mattress. Like I'd be exhausted.
Yeah, it's a lot of running. And even with the first roadblock, and she was the one that did it. I was like, why? Why would you do that? Last episode, she was complaining that she couldn't run. James always has her backpack on,
Yeah.
I don't know if he had done so many that maybe they were like strategically.
That would have been interesting to know.
I was thinking like he probably had more strategically. They were like, okay, this doesn't seem that hard. Maybe she should do it because if we do last longer, they're gonna want him
to do more.
But don't think ahead like that. This is probably your last leg. Like,
right.
When you're in the position where you're behind and you're kind of just hanging on, you really can't think ahead like that. You've got to put the person in the roadblock that's going to do the best at the roadblock. So I think that was a mistake. Luckily enough.
If you have time to kill, then you can think ahead. But if you're already towards the bottom, you got to just get through the detour and get to the map.
Exactly. I mean, if Chac Attack didn't make 10 mistakes, they would have been eliminated. So they kind of lucked out there.
Yeah. Well, let us know what you guys predict for next episode. We said, who do you think is going to go home?
I think Alabama. Going home.
I really hope that
it's NEL and they're not going home, but they're going to be last.
I hope it's not. I hope it is an elimination. I like it when some people get eliminated.
Yeah, me too.
Oh man. All right,
so we're done.
I guess we're done.
Right?
We wrapped it up. So yeah, let us know what you guys think in the comments below. And where can they find you?
You can find me at Reepsicle on all social media platforms.
Awesome, and you guys can find me at DressJessXO. Have a great week, and hopefully it's a elimination. And James will be back next week.
Yeah, fingers crossed for elimination next week. We'll see.
Yes. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.